you go through, you get your credit report kicked back. So I was like, okay, what's the issue? They was like, well, unfortunately, we can't even open an account for you. I've never seen anything like this. Now, most people think it's outside of the statute of limitations, right? Like it's way more than 7 years. But internally, I am flagged, right? This is a transparent moment. Internally, I am flagged with Truist based on my relationships with SunTrust and BB&T in 07, 08, right? So back to where I was going about whenever you do get your credit repaired and you are going through the process of structuring yourself for funding, removing those negative remarks, removing the remarks that's in there showing that the account is in dispute or the consumer disagrees with the resolution, all of that is going to be very key. Now, internally, I can't get a bag from them even though guess what, it's outside of statute of limitations. It's been well over 7 years, but internally some of y'all are building with institutions that you ran off on in the past and you don't even realize it. Now in 2024 you got a lot of banks is going to be merging together, going and doing different things, and once again that's why I say before you go through credit repair, and it's only one person I'm gonna tell you to go through, that's Joshua Rico, right? Whenever you're going through credit repair with Josh, right? And Josh should tell you the same thing. I personally would recommend that you try to go and fix the relationship with the actual bank before you remove it off your credit report. Or if you did get removed off your credit report internally, you still want to go and build with them. Okay, yes, it's not on my credit report anymore. I know we had a rough pass, for lack of better words, and what's gonna happen is you're gonna say, okay, I know I had, let's just say I left you with a $300 or $400 balance, maybe a $5,000 balance, whatever the case may be. And whenever you sit down with you, tell them, listen, I want to right this wrong. Whatever is needed from me, whether it's me paying it back, I have no issue doing that, because whenever you ran off on them, you damn sure didn't have the information that you have access to now. So what I always tell people, even if you go through credit repair, credit enhancement, whatever word you want to say, right? Try to go and fix it internally with the bank, especially if this bank underwrites for a lot of other banks, a lot of other credit unions. You know what I'm saying? So this is just the first layer of everything where I'm getting you to the overall structure, right? What time is it? We 9:40. Okay, we're going to 10:39. We get 1 hour and then I'm cutting it off. It ain't gonna be one of them 2 hour lives. But back to what I was saying is that you have to make sure that you are structured internally. This is things that nobody is talking about. I ran off on Truist. I mean, I ran off on BB&T. I ran off on SunTrust as a college student, and guess what? That and it wasn't even $1,000. It was probably about $300 or $400 from each of those banks. But now, let's just say 15 years down the line, what happens is they merge together and they create Truist, and now I go and I'm like, bet I'm gonna go and get me a bag. That's what I thought. No, I'm internally done. I am internally done. So I can't. So $800, right? Let me bring it back. $800 cost me getting access to $100,000 plus. So this is whenever I'm telling you from firsthand experience. This is not me joining mentorship. This is not me hearing it from funding clients. This is me actually what I went through myself and what I witnessed, and why I'm coming to tell you internally is more important than your actual profile. You can have a 600 credit score, but you've been with this institution for 5 or 10 years and you got a great deposit relationship. You got multiple products with them. You have an auto loan with them. You had a personal loan with them. You got that low five bank rating and you've been building with the institution for years. They're going to give you access to a larger bag than another institution who don't understand your borrowing behavior, who don't understand your spending behavior. So that's what the purpose of this call is tonight, is to literally break down the proper structure and let you know that structure is pivotal in obtaining seven figures in funding. You're not talking to nobody who may or may not have it. I actually got it. Less than 24 months, 1.5 million, right? And the going. We in the close out the year over 2 million in funding, and then next year gonna be even more crazy. And this is just on the one LLC. But this call ain't about me. So you want to build solid comparables, right? You want to build solid comparables. And whenever I say you build solid comparables, I'm meaning that you want to go and just don't add anything to your profile. Listen, I know we got some queens in the building, right? I know we got some queens in the building. If yo, never mind. Matter of fact, let's get spicy. With the queens in the building, men gonna judge you about who you been with previously. And the same with the kings. The females gonna judge you about who you been with previously. It's no different than the banks. The banks are going to judge you based on what's on your profile. And whenever I tell you what's on your profile, I mean even the closed accounts. That's what most people don't understand. Is that closed accounts go into consideration as well whenever you're going for funding. You know what I'm saying? So whenever you're going for funding, listen, get with my dog Joshua Rico Sr. in the chat right there. He can remove anything off your credit, bankruptcies, late payments, collections, charge off. No matter what it is, he can get it removed. But even closed accounts, sometimes you may want to remove them from your profile, especially if it's with a tier 4 bank. If it's with a fucking upgrade, if it's with some of these credit builder accounts, etc. You don't even want that on your profile. Done are the days of Credit Strong. Done are the days of Rental Karma. Done are the days of adding authorized users. You get the AU added to your profile whenever your primary profile is maxed out. Like done are them days. Let's go back internally and start from there to understand the overall structure to get access to maximum funding, right? So whenever you want to build solid comparables, I recommend if you on a personal side, you want to have a mixture, right? The profile needs to be you're sculpting a portrait. 3, 4 years down the line, y'all gonna be able to walk into the bank and say, hey, you know what? I've been looking at this apartment complex. It's about $5 million. What's needed from me outside of P&L statements, my great credit, of course, and tax statements. You want to be able to walk into the bank and talk that type of talk, not you going through a relationship manager and you saying, you know what, okay, I want to apply for a $20,000 credit card, a $30,000 credit card. All that shit cute. I'm gonna be honest with you. All that shit is cute, but you need to be sculpting and structuring your profile so in 24 months, next year, you can sit down and say, you know what? I've been building with you. I got my P&Ls. I got my tax returns. I got all of these different things. Now I want to sit down and get this $5 million business line of credit. I want to get this $5 million SBA loan, right? So most people get so caught up in the credit card stacking, and let me tell y'all that's my thing. That's my shit right there. I love credit card stacking. Like you get 0% APR funding, you able to move the money around, and I'm gonna get into some creative ways. They call it creative financing. I'm gonna get into some ways to where you can maximize. You get one $25,000 credit card. You go to different institutions, liquidate the money off the card, and then you end up turning 25,000 into 100,000. Pay the $25,000 back to the card, ask them for a credit limit increase, may get another 10,000. So now there's $25,000 that you had used it for 3 months, used it for 90 days, paid it back, right? Liquidated out the account, paid it back, asked for more, 25, 30, I mean, another 10,000, got you another 35,000, right? Then you take the money back off and go build with other institutions. We gonna get into all of that. You know what I'm saying? But I kind of want to bring it back to where everybody really understand the structure and how important it is before you go out and you say, you know what, I got a 750 and I'm ready for a bag. Don't be in a rush to go out and get access to capital without structuring this profile. So whenever I say you want to build solid comparables, you want to have a mixture on your profile of installment and revolving. For my people on here that do not know, or you just introductory to credit and you don't know what installment and revolving lines are, these are for installment, these are your loans, right? These are auto loans. This is mortgages. This is student loans, etc. It's basically what an installment is going to be the same exact amount every month, and you locked in for a set amount of time. So just think of a loan in this aspect. Now, if you got some revolving, these are credit cards, lines of credit, etc. You know what I'm saying? So you literally have to go and structure that. You don't want to be too one-sided with your profile. You don't want to have fucking a whole bunch of revolving and no installment. And you don't want to have a whole bunch of installment and no revolving. So you want to have a mixture. You want to have a good profile to where you can go out and really and get access to maximum capital. And my brother Stock Trader T just hopped in the building. So we're gonna take a commercial break. I'm gonna show you how to one structure your profile. Once you actually get access to the capital, you then can learn a skill set that's going to generate you thousands of dollars every single month whenever you tap in with my brother Stock Trader T. I don't know if the mentorship is still open. Y'all may have to get on them, bro. Y'all may have to get on them, tell them to open that thing up for at least 4 or 5 more people. You know what I'm saying? But then once you get access to this capital and then you say, okay, I'm going to learn a skill set such as futures, such as options, etc. And then guess what? You playing with 0% APR funding. Now you can afford to take them risks. You know what I'm saying? So and shout out to my bro, man. That's my mentor right there, Stock Trader T, man. He got me turned up with the options right now. But back to the credit side is that you really want to understand that you want to build a solid comparables. So you want to have a mixture of personal loans. You want to have a mixture of credit cards. You want to have a mixture of auto loans. You want to have a mixture of mortgages, etc. I don't know how many of y'all have been denied, but I had a few funding clients come through and they are literally getting denied due to lack of real estate. I was getting denied last year sometime due to lack of real estate on my profile. So you got to understand, like, okay, banks want to see different type of primaries on your profile. And whenever I say primaries, right? Yep, secure. Yep, secure installment loan. Oh, we gonna get spicy with that. Just we actually coming right up on that. But adding a whole bunch of different primaries in which you are the individual owner of, not somebody adding you to their credit card, because you can have $1 million in available credit and 700-800,000 is on AU authorized user trade lines. That's not going to help you, right? That's not going to help you whenever you are going to the bank. Whenever the underwriter pull your credit report and they see that you have 1 million, right? Because that's what we talking about tonight. You have 1 million in credit lines, but 800,000 is from authorized users, and the remaining 200,000 is your primaries and they maxed out. So you literally go in and say, okay, you want to build proper comparables with primaries not being added as authorized user, not Reno Karma, not Credit Strong, not any of this other stuff. Before you actually go and do that, what I recommend that you do is go through and you go the secured route. And whenever I say the secured route, it's called a certificate pledge loan. Navy Federal got it, PenFed. It's a lot of different credit unions who got it. Most people just call it the pledge loan. They just automatically think Navy Federal. But what happens is that they ain't the only people who offer this particular product. And whenever you have banks that offer this, you can leverage it multiple ways. So how I personally leverage it, right? DCU is another one. How I leverage it is I'll go out and get access to a business credit card, right? Let's just say that you got access to some business credit, particularly 0% APR. You liquidate, right? You liquidate the money off of the card. And if y'all comment the word bank, all of that's connected. It'll go to your DMs as well. If we're not friends, it'll be in your request folder. If you comment the word bank, you're gonna get a link to my bank audit ebook, my mentorship, and you're gonna get a link to purchase my manufacturer spending ebook. I typically don't even talk about this particular subject due to the gray area. You know how it is, man. Whenever we get on something, folks try to switch up the game. But if you want to really learn how to turn credit to cash, buying some shit on credit, returning it to your debit. If you comment the word bank, it's gonna be in your DMs for you to actually purchase that ebook. And that ebook, man, is that shit that have been too crazy. But anyway, um, what was I at? Yeah. So whenever you go out, you want to go to secure route, right? You want to go to secure route simply because whenever you go that secure route, it looks better on paper of the profile that you're creating for long term. Yes, it's gonna say that it was a secured card, but it beats a fucking rental karma. It beats a fucking credit strong. It beat all of that. And you're building with the institution. So what I'll do is I'll go and get access to 0% APR funding And whenever I get access to the 0% APR funding, what I'm doing is I'm like, okay, I'm going to liquidate the money off of the cards, and then I'm going to go and build with the institutions that I want to get funded from. Now, you have multiple products with the institution, so you can do a pledge loan. Remind you, as soon as you put the money in the account, if it's a certificate pledge loan, etc., they're gonna release the money back to you after you pay off 90% of it. Now, once you got that primary with that particular institution, you got the money back. Now, what you're gonna do is go and deposit it into the account. So not only did you build with that institution, DCU, Navy Fed, etc., you actually got that on your profile for other banks to see. And stop going for them store cards, right? Stop going for the store cards. The only store card that I recommend anybody get or have in their arsenal is the Macy's credit card, simply because you can use that card anywhere. Most other credit cards, you got a Victoria's Secret, you got a TJ Maxx, you got a Marshalls, you got Bass Pro, you got all these different store cards that a lot of people are getting. The shopping cart trick that we learned about in 2020, right? Crazy. Everybody was going to get all these store cards to add to their profile, but whenever you get access to these store cards and the bank or the underwriter see that you got a whole bunch of bullshit on there, once again, it brings me back to my original point, is you are judged by who you mess with in the past. It's just a way of life. The banks are gonna look at you the same exact way. Man, my dog got a $20,000 Victoria's Secret card, bro. Come on, man. You got a $30,000 um 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 Marshall's card. Come on. That's not consume. I mean, that is not bank issued. So you want to go for bank issue products over store issue products. Yes, a bank does the underwriting. Yes, a bank it'll be Synchrony who's going to issue the store cards, but at the same time, this is a tier four. You don't want to add no tier four accounts to your profile, because once again, whenever you go in 2, 3 years, if you're starting from today, in 2, 3 years, you want to be able to go and sit down at the bank and talk to the regional manager, the vice president, the president of the branch, and you sit down and you're conducting $1 million deals. You're not gonna get that way with a fucking Marshalls, with a TJ Maxx, with a Victoria's Secret. You're not gonna get that way. You ain't gonna get no bag that way. So whenever I say you should go to secured route, you literally need to go to secured route to build out primaries in this particular institution, whether it's DCU, whether it's all of these different ones, man. I'm not gonna get too heavy into that because that's not what this call is on. But secure cards are better. Now, if you have not, right? If you have not went in and started building on that personal profile, don't go to business banks trying to get personal funding. Don't go to personal banks trying to get business funding. It don't work like that. Let me tell y'all this, and no shame to nobody who got a Navy Federal business credit card or a PayPal business credit card, etc. But what's the purpose, right? If you do it, that basically just says that you were in a rush to get access to some capital. What the fuck is the purpose of getting access to a business credit card that's not 0% interest? You got to pay that shit back in 30 days unless you running a manufacturer spending plays and you doing a lot of moving around and you leveraging the pledge loans. But that's still a lot of work. So before you go out and you get certain products, you really want to understand how to operate. Don't go to personal banks for business funding. Don't go to business banks for personal funding. And if you want to know about the personal banks, you go to Discover is a great personal bank. American Express, they're both. You killing two birds with one stone. American Express is another great personal bank, great business bank as well. You got Alliant, that's a great personal bank. Navy Federal is a personal bank. Navy Federal is not a business relationship bank. They only have one business credit card and it's not even 0% interest. I'm like, damn, at least you can give me 0% interest for 6 months. Something. And they just now recently switched it to where you get unlimited 2% cash back. But they done that as they charge you daily interest. So it's really not even like they playing with y'all head. But anyway, let me get back on point. So my personal banks, right? You're gonna have SoFi, you're gonna have Alliant, you're gonna have Navy Federal, you're gonna have Discover, you're gonna have American Express. These are your personal funding institutions in which I recommend that you start from, right? And whenever you start with these, check this out, whenever you start with these institutions and you build with them, you're killing two birds with one stone, even though some of them don't offer personal products or or don't offer business products, and their business products are not as friendly as other institutions. But guess what? You're at least adding a tier one or tier two account on your profile. So this is what I talk about whenever I say profile structuring. You don't want to just add anything on there, right? So now you went through and you started with the personal institutions, right? And this could be banks, this could be credit unions, etc. Right? It don't matter. The underwriter's gonna judge you. The underwriter's gonna judge your ass. So do not be putting no um mission lane and all that other shit, man, that people be adding on their profile. And then whenever they come to me and say they want access to funding, I'm like, bro, nah, I can't even do nothing with this profile. You need to go and build with different banks. So, which brings me to my next point, right? The 3590 method. I speak on this a lot. Whenever you are going for structure, whenever you are going to build out, right now your ass should be structuring for 2025 going into 2026. You should have a list of a bare minimum of 36 banks. You should have at least 36 banks that you have no relationship with, that you have bank audited. You look at their deposits, you look at their max exposure, you look at the amount that they've been lending out, whether it's business products, whether it's personal products, depending on your situation, you need to be understanding how they lend out and where they fit into your personal or business funding sequence. That's what most people mess up at, is they think like, okay, all banks operate the same. Where you may go to an institution and they may have business products, they may have a business credit card, but that's not their primary focus. Some banks, such as First Citizens, they have business products, but their go-to product is a BLOC, $150,000 business line of credit, 2 years tax statements. We'll give you that. Other institutions specialize in credit cards, American Express, business credit cards, particular, right? Business credit cards, but guess what? They also have a business line of credit. But they're not known for the business line of credit. They are more so known for their business credit cards. So you understanding what the institution specializes in is going to be very, very pivotal in you maximizing the funding, whether it's for you or for your clients. You need to understand how these institutions work to maximize the bag that you get. You know what I'm saying? And that's where a lot of people mess up at, is um this is what a lot of people mess up, is that they just go out and just take any and every damn thing. I tell you, y'all heard me say it previously and many times. If you can't give me access to $100,000 plus in business funding, 0% APR preferably, I can't bank with you. I have no interest in banking with you at all. And the reason why is because I built out over time and structure a solid portfolio, a solid profile, whatever you want to call it. So now, whenever I go in, instead of asking them what I can do for them, I'm asking them, what can you do for me? What type of products do you got? Okay, I see you say that your credit cards go to 50,000. Okay, you got multiple credit cards, but if I go for all three credit cards, is it possible that I can get 50,000 on all three of them, or do I have to wait a certain amount of time in between? Can I apply? How long is the inquiry active for? Is the inquiry active for 30 days? If I go for another product, is it going to result in another hard pull? All of these things are going to be pivotal whenever you are structuring everything that you're doing. And that's what we're talking about tonight, is that structure, not adding anything to it. And when once you start structuring and you audit the banks, the 3590 method is whenever I go to 3 to 5 banks every 90 days and I build with them. I sit down with them. I open up a business checking account, open up a business savings account. Hell, I may even do a CD for $1,000, $2,000, because this shows longevity. It seems as if I'm having longevity with this institution, or if I'm there for the long term. In our reality, I'm shit. Once I get that maximum exposure, I'm pulling all my bread out and I'm going to another institution. You know what I'm saying? So the 3-5-90 method, super simple. You got 3 to 5 banks that you're going to build with every 90 days. And you're going to do this per bureau. So if you run this sequence that I always talk about, this is a minimum of $360,000, right? 36 banks. And let's just say that they give you $10,000 each, because that's where we're going to build our profile from, or build our internals with a particular institution. And the reason why $10,000 is such a sweet spot is because internally, this is where banks grade you as a low five. You know what I'm saying? Banks going to grade you as a low five with $10,000. So that's why I always tell my mentees, no, you don't want to put it in there at one time, because if you put it in there at one time and you don't do anything with it, now the account becomes dormant. And it just shows if you just have a savings account with them. Instead, it would be more instead it would be more logically smart to say, okay, I'm going to come in, and then over the course of 90 days I'm going to get it to 10,000 and possibly even exceed that $10,000, because we know 3 to 5 banks every 90 days, and then on day 91, on day 95 or whatever, we're going to set up a appointment with the business relationship manager. If you're going for business funding, if you're going for personal funding, you're going to set up with the personal relationship manager. And now what happens is you're going to literally sit down with them and say, okay, well, I've been banking with you, for the past 90 days. I kind of like where we're going with this. I want to enhance the relationship. So I want to go, business is going good. I want to, expand my marketing department. You can come up with anything while you need funding. And then you say, you know what, I've been building with you. I got about $10,000-$15,000 sitting in the account. How much can I get on a business credit card? Now, because you've already audited the bank, if they give you 10,000, yes, you're gonna take it, but you're gonna hit a reconsideration off the rip. We will never, from this day forward, we are to never accept what a credit card issuer gives us if it's not the max exposure. If Chase credit cards go up to 125,000, why the hell are you accepting a $70,000 credit card? Unless you got a strategy to say, okay, well, I'm gonna go in and double back on another one and get another 70 and get another 75. Now I'm at the $150,000 max exposure for Chase before they file a UCC1. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand on the audit how everything is set up. Okay, I know who you pull from. I know who you pull from for each individual product, because that's another thing, is that you can go for a business line of credit and you can go for a business credit card with the same exact institution, and they pull from two separate bureaus. PNC is a prime example. You going for a business credit card at PNC, they gonna pull your Experian report. You go in for a business line of credit, they gonna pull your Equifax. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand, whenever you sit down with the rep, shit, I'm giving y'all this game so y'all can go out and develop your own relationships, because I can't be there with you. Now, if you're an inner circle student, it's a lot different. You know what I'm saying? But that's not even what the call is about. So the 3-5-90 method is you understanding this, all of this as a whole, and saying, okay, I'm gonna go and bank with them. 90 days, $10,000-$15,000 in the account, right? And remember, my personal strategy is I'm liquidating off of a business credit card. So I'm not even using my own money. I'm gonna go to Chase, get 70, 75,000, 0% interest for 12 months. I may take 3 to 6 months to structure other banking relationships. So I could take 70K off of this card, right? And then I can go to Bank of America and build with them for 3 months with about $10,000-$15,000 in the account. I can go to a PNC. I can go to Wells Fargo. I can go to these other credit unions and I can build with them for 90 days. Because remember, the credit card is 0% interest for a year. If you take 3 months to go and put, let's just say, 10, 15,000 to get that low five bank rating, to put that into the account, what the hell you think gonna happen on day 91 or day 95 whenever you go for funding? They at least gonna give you what you have actively sitting in the account. And you should be around 10 to 15,000. Now you got a strong relationship with them. You got direct deposit, possibly. You got a savings account. You got all type of different things. Deposit relationship is good. Now they give you 10 to 15,000. You're like, bro, hold up. Hold on. I see on your website that your credit cards go up to 50,000. What's up with this? They don't want to give it to you. Guess what? You hit a reconsideration. If they deny you, guess what I'm gonna do? If that's all you're gonna give me, I'm taking my money out of the institution and I'm gonna take the $15,000 credit card and I'm gonna go to another institution. So I just leveraged you to get access to more capital. Meanwhile, it was 0% APR funding. And depending on if you want to pay Chase back and then ask them for a credit limit increase, or if you want to just go to a whole nother bank and start the cycle over because you got the 14 to 15,000, all you're gonna keep in that particular account that you just got funded from is the minimum balance to avoid a service fee, whether that's $1,000, whether that's 2,500, whatever the case may be. You're only going to keep that in there, and now from there you good to go. Shit, okay, I put 10, 15,000 of Chase's money into your account at Wells Fargo. You gave me 15,000. I asked for a reconsideration. You didn't give it to me. Shit, bro, I got $15,000 at 0% interest for you for a year. I'll take that. Now you take that 15 that you got that was sitting in a Wells Fargo account, and you take a $15,000 credit card that you just got from them. Now you operating with 30,000. So you could even liquidate that and have 30 to go and build other institutions. And that's where the 3-5-90 method come from. Is that, remember, we're going to 3 to 5 banks every 90 days. So if TransUnion is your strongest profile, right? And this is a mix of personal and business. If TransUnion is strongest profile, Fidelity is a major play for you. They handing out $20,000-$30,000 limits like it ain't nothing. And there's no relationship required because they are underwritten by Elon Financial. That's a conversation for another day. Navy Federal is another one that's going to pull from TransUnion. Alliant, no relationship required. You can go to Alliant right now, apply, and you're going to get you 10, 15,000. That's off the rip with no relationship. I recommend building a relationship with them. But if you need access to a quick 10, 15,000 on a personal side to, kind of leverage a little bit, hit up Alliant. They're giving out their bag. Fifth Third is another bank that's going to pull from TransUnion. Business products, not as APR friendly as other institutions. I want to say 0% interest for 6 months. But once again, don't get so caught up in that 0% APR phase on how short it is, as long as they have one, because you could use it. You could say, you know what? I'm not even gonna really put that into an investment. I'm gonna liquidate that card and then I'm gonna go and build 2 or 3 other banking relationships. So I'll get 10, 15,000, and now I'm gonna go and open up a checking account with the credit union down the road with Renaissance Bank, with the credit union of Georgia. And then I'm just gonna liquidate that whole amount, right? And then just go and put it in an account and then hit them up in 90 days or so. And I know what y'all thinking, duh, well, my utilization is gonna be high, my credit score is gonna fall. Man, utilization don't got no memory. The one thing about utilization is you pay it off, the shit go down and your score go back up. But actually, I'm gonna be the first person to say this. High utilization reporting actually helps you as long as you pay it down the following month or a few months after, because it shows that you are using the credit. Remember what I talked about in the beginning, because remember what I talked about in the beginning whenever I said you don't want an account to go in dormant status. Well, if you get a credit card for $20,000-$30,000 and you never use it, guess what's gonna happen? That account is gonna be dormant and it's not going to report. And then whenever you go out and apply for more funding, what's going to happen is they going to deny your ass. It recently just happened to me. I had a lot of cards that I hadn't used. I'm heavy on the Amex side, and I only be using my Amex cards, but I got other relationships with other banks, and I barely use their card. Chase denied me for my second business product because they said I had access to too much credit. And the reason why they denied me not was because I had access to too much credit, was because I didn't have a high credit balance. So, like I said, I'm going to be the first person to tell you that high utilization actually helps you after you pay it down. Because whenever you go and you look at the remarks and you look at the chart on the credit card, it's going to have high balance. And it's going to have the date whenever you had that high balance. And if you had a $15,000 credit card, $20,000 credit card on that personal side and it reported, and then you went to pay it down the next month, it just goes to show that you need access to more capital. Another thing that you can do, assuming that you pay it down, is that banks, US Bank, Chase, and it's a lot of other banks, they have a comparable analysis program, meaning that you can take not your bank statements, not your tax returns, but you can take your credit card statements and take it to them and give them a reason to give you access to that much capital. So if I have a $50,000 American Express card, I got a construction company and I'm spending $50,000 a month. I go to US Bank or I go to Chase with my great credit and I tell them, okay, my utilization is high, but guess what? I'm the reason why it's high is because I'm actually using the capital and I pay it down every month. Yes, it's reporting as a balance on there, but I actually don't pay any interest on it because I pay it in full by the statement closing day.